Marshall Plan strategic process. For those of you new to the show, I'm your host, Nancy Marshall, the PR maven and CEO of Marshall Communications. I want to welcome you. And we also have a live audience of fans here. Very exciting. We're here. I feel like Hoda and Jenna here.
Does that make me Jenna?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it wouldn't be so bad if Jenna Bush. No, just saying. It's great to have a live audience of people from Marshall Communications and VIP Tires and Service and some of our other friends and fans. So this week's guest is Tim Winkler, who had the most popular episode over 2022. Welcome again to the PR Maven podcast, Tim.
Thank you, Nancy. Great to be here.
So Tim is an accomplished people-focused leader as president and CEO of VIP Tires and Service, and he has a track record of building high-performance teams that exceed expectations. And I have seen him in action with his teams, and he is very much of a team-oriented leader. He's always focused on customer needs and feedback, and then building core competencies around making money by serving customers in different and better ways. Tim thrives in helping organizations succeed through strategy development and execution, relentlessly pursuing continuous improvement while helping each member of the team reach his or her personal best. And I'm sure that those of you who are here on the team would agree. More enthusiastic clapping. Tim is a teacher at heart and learns every day by reading great books and meeting great people. And I've always said that readers are leaders. So it's nice that you're a reader, Tim. I think that's great. So Tim, congratulations on being our most popular guest of the year on the PR Maven podcast. How do you feel about being here in person celebrating this milestone?
Yeah, I'm honored and humbled, and as I've said many times, it's a privilege, and I'm blessed that as the leader of VIP, I get to tell our stories. But our story is really about all of our people. So for me, this is just not so much about me as it is the story of VIP and our brand and the transformation that we've been through over the last 10 or 12 years. So I'm excited to be here, and I love talking about the business, and I love telling our story.
Well, that comes across definitely, that you're proud of your team and that you love what you do and are passionate about it. So congratulations. So your marketing team does a fabulous job of integrating advertising, social media, community service, public relations, and customer service. What are VIP's values and mission that drive all of your marketing communications?
I've worked for several companies, large companies and small companies. One of the things that I believe is very unique about VIP is that our marketing team, Lynn, Colleen, Melinda, all the people that they've surrounded themselves with, first of all, they're all rock stars in what they do. But it's more than that. And the key to that, I believe, in our success is that they know our business. And they don't look at this just from a marketing perspective. They look at this and they get to understand our people. They understand that our brand is our people. And so this isn't just a marketing exercise for them. This is how do we tell the story of our people? And so I think that's the magic of it. And when you start talking about the values of kind of who we are and our mission, our mission and our vision that we call it are really kind of how I see the business having been built over the last 10 years. Our mission is simple: earn a customer for life. And our owner came up with that 20 something years ago, and it's super simple and it's relatable to anybody and in any situation. Earn a customer for life. What would you do if your mission right now was to earn a customer for life? And so it simplifies the business. And so that's really how we operate. And then when it comes to our values, I think about our vision. Our vision is VIP's professionals love their jobs. That's how it starts out. VIP's professionals love their jobs because they're appreciated, they're well prepared, they enjoy serving others, and they find personal success as a member of the VIP family. And so it's kind of a long vision statement, if you will, but it has nothing to do with sales or growth or how many stores we want to open or any external metric. It's all about our people, and it's all about what kind of environment can we foster for our people to grow personally in the company.
And I also know, and I should say in full transparency, that we are working together. Marshall Communications is working as your PR firm, which is an honor for all of us. And I know that you support your employees in their communities, and you do have 66 stores, 67 tomorrow. So there will be 67 stores throughout Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. And I know that if one of your team members is involved in their community with a nonprofit or a sports team, you also support those nonprofits. Is that true?
That's 100% true. Yeah, all kinds of businesses get solicited, right, from people who want you to donate here and there and everything. And of course, we have our big drive every year, our campaign for Make-A-Wish. And we, as of 2022, this past year, or I guess the 2021 campaign, we became Maine's largest corporate partner for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Last year we donated over $150,000 to Make-A-Wish, which granted over 20 wishes for kids who are fighting critical illnesses. So we're super proud of that. But Lynn has done an amazing job within her realm of the marketing and advertising budget to also make space for all the small ball stuff, all the little things that our employees get involved in. And it could be myself. I was involved with Boy Scouts through our church, and Lynn, supported that. We've got softball teams, we've got baseball teams, we've got Little League, we've got adult teams, we've got all kinds of, local causes. And every time any one of our employees reaches out, as long as they're personally involved, we absolutely want to be there shoulder to shoulder with them, supporting them.
Well, I think that makes a big difference for those employees to feel more loyal to you too. If it's a point of pride for them in their community that their employer does that.
I think it's a point of pride, but even more importantly is we want our associates to be involved in their community.
Yeah.
Right. So we challenge our managers to go find something to get involved with, whether that's a local, Rotary Club or some sort of organization or it's sponsoring a youth sports team. We actually encourage that. We want our employees to be out there within their communities, because we say it all the time that, we want managers and technicians in the company who are going to see customers at the grocery store, at the Little League field, or, in their community, because even though we have, as of tomorrow, 67 locations, we're still a family business. We're still a small company, and we want to have that small company feel in every community we serve.
Yeah, well, kudos to you on that. I think it makes sense. And during the pandemic, a lot of that kind of community involvement fizzled out. So it's good if you can help reignite some of that community engagement. So Tim, how do you integrate the internal culture of customer service and employee training with your external marketing and messaging?
When it comes to the internal culture of training and education, really is the term we use a lot, and as well as certification. Within our business, within the repair business, the ASE certifications, which is the blue patch that certified master technicians wear on their shirts, that's been a big part of our cultural revolution, if you will, in the last 10 years at VIP. We made a decision 10 years ago, after getting suggestions from our employees, that we should remove the barriers and allow them to attain those certifications without any expense and make it as easy as possible. So we did that 10 years ago. It was a huge investment that we decided to make, but we felt like for the future of the business that it was going to be exactly the path we wanted to travel. And so we support the education and the career development of our associates by trying to take every one of those barriers out and helping them become certified professionals. And I can tell you that 10 years ago, we across the company might have had 100 or 200 certifications within the ASE program. Today, I think we're at 3,000 or 4,000. It's been a sea change, and that's allowed our marketing team and the external communications team to tell the story of a professional certified company. Yeah. Versus just a company that happens to be in the tire or service business. So when our people become professionals, it's much easier to tell the story of a professional service experience.
Well, it also, again, encourages your employees to stay with you for the long term if they know they can keep moving ahead in their careers.
Absolutely. No, our employee turnover has dropped dramatically since we've been doing this and since we've been investing in them. And what's great is that the more we find ways to invest in them, the better our financial performance has been as a company. So we spend more money by improving benefits or compensation or training or all these different programs. We spend more money to do that every year. We find new ways to spend money on our employees, and yet year after year after year, our business performance outpaces that investment. So it's just a great cycle to get into.
Makes sense, especially now with the Great Resignation. So we're going to hear more from Tim in just a moment, but now it's time to remind you about how you can get a free PR Maven to-do pad if you leave a review and subscribe to the PR Maven podcast on your favorite podcast player, and then you visit prmaven.com/giveaway and submit your information so we can send you a to-do pad. And everyone who's here today is going to get one to take home. I feel like Oprah, everybody gets a free car. I wish I could do that. Maybe next year. We're going to hear a little bit from Mike Duguay now about the PR Maven, and then we'll be back in a moment.
After reading PR Works, I really started to think about how marketing actually works. And I know that sounds a little bit ridiculous, but what I realize is that each platform nowadays that we use out there in digital media and social media has its own nuance and also quirks to it. And understanding how they're used is exceedingly important. Because when you have a hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail. And you can't approach it that way in marketing. And that's where I think Nancy's brilliance really shined in PR Works. I think Grow Your Audience, Grow Your Brand is really sort of the manifesto of understanding that there's many different levels to marketing. It's on your personal side of your brand, how actually you express yourself through business, but also what people hear you saying and what they see out there in the public eye as well. So I think what's really important there, that's really the blueprint of how you go about using these new social media platforms, but also to express who you are as a human being. Because people want to see you authentically and genuinely working with not only what you do, but also with the customers. And Nancy, on a personal level, I think that's who she is. She embodies that approach.
Welcome back to the PR Maven podcast. We're talking with Tim Winkler on the PR Maven podcast, which is also available on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So Tim, tell us about the right to repair movement that you're involved with nationally.
Sure. So the right to repair movement has to do with preserving consumer choice in where you bring your car for service and repair. And it as well is preserving small business across America. So today, what a lot of people aren't familiar with is the fact that these newest cars, which are rolling computers, if you will, all the integrations of Apple CarPlay and Google and all that. So what's happened is vehicles today, the newest vehicles today, and especially the electric vehicles, the EVs, they all produce wireless data that is transmitted automatically to the car manufacturer. So if you're driving a brand new car, and especially an EV, there's all kinds of data that is being streamed only to those car manufacturers, and repair shops like ourselves and thousands across the country. If we do not pass legislation to get this right to repair passed, we will begin getting locked out of these vehicles because we do not have access to the wireless data that they produce. And more, we require access to that data in order to repair the vehicle and diagnose it properly. So if something doesn't happen soon, there will become a future where you buy your car from a company and you have to take your car back to them for every repair. And we just don't think that that's right for the American people.
That's right. And I know because I recently got my snow tires put on and the little sensor wouldn't go off and they couldn't figure out how to get it off, but they did finally. So
Good,
thankfully, because
No,
that drives me nuts when I got that sensor lit up on my dash. So. what else would you like our listeners to know? Well, actually, I'm going to just tell the story of how we met, Tim,
Sure, I'd love it.
because it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So what year do we think it was? Was it 2020 or?
Oh, no, it's been way before that. It was probably 2016, 17, something like that. It's probably 5 years ago.
How time flies. So I was trying to buy a gift card for my younger son, Jamie, and it was the holiday season. I was kind of frazzled. It was about 5 days before Christmas. And I went to 3 different VIPs and they couldn't generate a gift card. And I was a little cranky. So
I would be too if I was you.
because I really wanted to get a nice gift card so we could get some snow tires. So I went home and I went on Facebook and I did a rant.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm ready to spend all this money to buy my son 4 snow tires. And I couldn't even get a gift card. Well, Colleen, who's here tonight, happened to recognize my name. And I think she might have texted Tim like, you don't want Nancy Marshall to be mad at you. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, Colleen, but the next day I get a call from Tim Winkler saying he wanted to come by my office and see me. So yeah, he came to our office and Tim and I had a very long conversation.
Yeah.
I think we talked for a good hour, maybe
Yeah.
more. And we both discovered we have German relatives, and we talked about our German heritage.
Yep.
Our work ethic and our work history. So we made a friendship, and then Tim introduced me to Lynn Campbell, who's his vice president of marketing, and one thing led to another.
Sure.
And here we are today. So,
Yeah, no, I remember when you when you went on Facebook, I just remember that your email was Nancy at PR Maven. And when I saw PR Maven, I thought, this could be a problem. And so the other part of the story was when we were at your office, is I handed you a $500 gift card.
Yeah, I didn't know you wanted me to share that. It was very generous of you.
And I will tell you today that we do a heck of a job fixing cars and installing tires, and we still suck at selling gift cards.
Well, at
for
least
the-
you're honest.
For the 3 or 4 people a year who want to buy one, I'm sorry that we're not good at it. Someday we will get good at it, but we've probably. I think our guys in the stores have other creative ways to give people their gift cards, but it's just not something we're very good at.
And of course, I shared this with my son Jamie when I gave him the gift card. And then he's like, well, I get other presents now too because you didn't spend the money. That's what I called an entitled child. Well, Tim, thank you for sharing that story. That it actually had a really happy ending for me. I hope it
Yeah.
did for you,
No,
too.
it's been great. It's been great. We've been partners now for a little over a year, I think, and it's been great. And we love telling our brand story, and we think you and your organization are great at helping us tell that story. So it's a good partnership.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Actually, I was listening to TV news just the other night when the meteorologist and the host on air were bantering about the snow that was coming and whether they needed snow tires or all-weather tires or studs. And they said, we really don't know the difference. And I immediately said, wow, this is an opportunity. So
Yeah.
next week, you'll be interviewed by Amanda Hill from News Center, Maine. And she's going to, you're going to tell her about all the different types of tires.
We're in the education business, so we love educating customers and then letting them make a decision.
And actually, that's one thing about you is you said at heart, you are an educator.
Yeah, my parents are actually here tonight, and they'll remember that when I went into college, I sort of had 1 or 2 paths I could go into. I was told I'd probably be pretty good in engineering, or I always liked math, and I could have been a math teacher. And selfish Tim at 18 decided engineers make a hell of a lot more money than teachers. And so I ended up getting the engineering degree, and that got me onto the path that I'm on today through a business track. But I still love teaching, and Gary's here from VIP. Gary and I together teach a lot of the training classes at VIP. We don't use a lot of outside contractors for training. We teach, leadership training. We teach P&L, income statement training. We do a lot of that teaching. We roll up our sleeves and we do it ourselves. And I think for leaders of organizations, it's really, really important to be personally involved with the people within your company and And so that's just something that I really enjoy doing that. And so as a leader of the company, it's my privilege to be able to sort of pass along some of what I've learned over my career.
Well, I'm sure, again, that helps make your employees feel more, loyal to you over the long term and respect you as well as a teacher. So is there a book, an app, or a podcast other than the PR Maven podcast that has inspired you, and why?
Yeah, so it's not going to be a book or a podcast this time. It's going to be a YouTube video. And everybody can go look this up. You just Google Handle Hard Better. And it's about a 3-minute video by Kara Lawson. So Kara Lawson is the head coach at Duke University's women's basketball program. And one of her staffers caught her on camera talking to her team and giving them sort of this life lesson. And it's called Handle Hard Better because she can tell it way better than me. But the theme was, you know what? Everybody thinks things are going to get easy. And things never get easy. You just learn how to handle hard better. And it's really this story and lesson of resilience and learning that you are strong enough and that you have to handle these things. And it's never going to be easy. So don't think it's ever going to be easy. Just focus on becoming someone who handles hard better. And I would encourage anyone out there to go spend 3 minutes listening to it. I can tell you, I've listened to it I've watched it probably 100 times now because we shared it with every one of our managers. I've shared it in every forum that I can possibly think about it because I just think that this 3 minutes is a really, really great life lesson. And so that would be my recommendation.
Well, I've watched that video, and as someone who has had a business now for 32 years, I agree. It never really gets easy, but you do learn how to deal with things that come up. So yeah, it is a good video. Thanks for recommending that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how can people get in touch with you if they want to follow up? Maybe they want to come to work for you too, Tim.
Hey, we love hiring talented people. You can go to LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn and pretty active on LinkedIn. So feel free to connect and message me on LinkedIn. My email, twinkler@vipauto.com. Colleen shares that regularly out on the social world for anybody who is interested in connecting with me. And so, yeah, I welcome, one of my roles in the company today is sort of sharing best practices, but also learning. Like I said, as a company, the only way we get better is to continue to learn. And so the more I can connect and learn from other people, whether it be customers or our associates themselves that we learn from, or other business owners and other people in business. Everybody has a story, and I think every one of us can learn from everybody that we're surrounded with.
I agree, absolutely. Actually, I love meeting new people because I'm just curious about people, and I just love to ask them questions and learn about themselves. So that was one of the reasons I loved it when we sat and talked at my office.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out what year that was. In any case, thanks, Tim, for joining us, and congratulations again on receiving the Golden Microphone Award as the most popular guest of 2022. And Tim was originally on episode number
172.
172, and Emma Dimmick from my team knew that right off the top of her head, as she knows everything. Thank goodness. So thank you all for joining us, and have a great day, PR Maven Nation.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the PR Maven podcast. I invite you to share a review of the podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also join the PR Maven Nation on Facebook. It's free to join, and it's a great community of like-minded individuals who are all looking to learn and grow from one another. If you use an Alexa device, use your Alexa app to search the skills and games section to find and enable the PR Maven podcast flash briefing. This will give you access to exclusive content and more PR and marketing advice. Thanks again for listening, and have a great rest of your week, PR Maven Nation.